Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at Toxtricity with the new fast move of Acid as well that got buffed. I already took a look at the victory bell at this point most likely while you're watching this video. But the thing is, Toxtricity kind of plays completely a different role. Toxtricity is completely different in terms of not really doing any poison type damage and rather using the secondary type of itself, which is going to be the electric type, to do damage against the opponents with the hard-hitting move of Wild Charge with an insane attack stat behind it as well, and the option to boost yourself with the move Power Punch. And this Pokemon has an insane win rate in the Open Great League based on PvPoke. But today we're going to take a look if this is actually the case as well. If you play this Pokemon, we have a fun team here together as well. We have the Drifblim. I'm not running Mystical Fire yet. I know I made a video towards that where I, again, in the secret buff video, talked about why Mystical Fire on this Pokemon might be very cool, but that is going to be for a different meta. Here's, for example, one of the reasons why it's really cool. But yeah, today we're going to just run the standard moveset because it has a reason. The reason for that is I need it as my anti-ground type. Like quite a bit. And I know that Icy Wind is cool as well, but if I would run Mystical Fire, I would most likely run Astonish, and then you kind of don't have the great pacing with Icy Wind anymore. But yeah, with this kind of way here currently, Drifblim is my main way of dealing with ground type Pokemon. My other way, of course, is Furret, which has access to Trailblaze, which is going to cover that as well, because we have the double ground type weakness. Generally, we have a weakness to Scizor as well, but we're able to get realignment here and a shield advantage. Well, yeah, I don't know how that happened. I think the opponent lagged a little bit there, I have to say. But what we can do now is we're going to be able to get the shield from the opponent with that Shadow Ball. They're going to get my shield back. I know it's going to be just a Surf. I'm fully aware of that. But what I can do next is I can go for the swap out, go for another fast move, go for the Wild Charge, get the KO. And now I have 2 Pokemon left and a shield against the opponent's last Pokemon. So I'm in a great position now. As you'll see as well, it's going to be the Dusclops, and I know I don't care about my Toxtricity in this matchup. I don't need it. I need a Shadow Ball from my Drifblim, and that is going to win me the battle. I do think actually the opponent maybe had a chance of winning this one if they played the matchup before a bit differently, but it was a bit difficult for the opponent to really do that either. So like, I don't know. It definitely was a good game for us. Yeah, here we're gonna see Shadow Scizor again as well. What I usually do is I stay in to get up to a Power Punch and try to catch the Night Slash, because they're definitely gonna go straight for that charge move anyway. Hope they don't boost, which they never did against me, which is quite lucky. But I can still play it out now with a Furret. What I can do is I can go for a Swift. I can let the move go through from the opponent. They don't really need to shield ours either. And I am going to be able to kind of get the best advantage of that position for myself, because now I can just get a ton of energy on my Toxtricity. And so we traded basically our Furret and a bit of health of Toxtricity for a ton of energy on Toxtricity, which is going to allow us now to get the shields back from the, or like the shields from the opponent's Typhlosion, which is going to be lovely, as one Power Punch got a shield and the next Wild Charge is going to get a shield as well. So their shields down. The issue is they're going to get the shields back guaranteed as well, because they have Thunder Punch against us, which I cannot let go through. They need one more fast move to get to another Thunder Punch as well, but they swap out into that Jellicent, which actually is going to win us the battle, because what we can do is we can one-shot them with a Shadow Ball, which again, if you would have the other moves that I would like to run, it would have not really worked out here. But what we can do is we can still reach another Shadow Ball here in time, get the KO against the opponent, and that is going to be a very good game. Next up, we're going to see here Toxtricity against Typhlosion. That is going to be a matchup that we can definitely play out. We should be able to get an advantage here. I don't know on how big the advantage is going to be. It depends on how they play here. They're going to decide to shield the move here from me, which is going to be the Power Punch, and I can still reach another Power Punch against the opponent, and I feel like we kind of end up in a very similar scenario that we had before as well. We get 2 shields from the opponent, they have Typhlosion with energy, and if you wonder, why do I go into Drifblim if they have Thunder Punch, which is super effective, and yeah, they do so much damage against me, and the other one would have not really had a super effective move against like the Furret there or whatever. The reason for this is they also would have had 2 Blast Burns. 2 Blast Burns would do more damage, for example, than even the 2 Thunder Punches on me. Like, Blast Burn is such a hard-hitting move, so I kind of had to risk it here and try to get some energy on the Pokemon that does more damage, which is the Drifblim. Turns out they have kind of, sadly, very good counters against us. They're going to have here the Lapras against our Flying type, which of course they have Ice type coverage. I didn't go for the Shadow Ball. could have maybe went for the Shadow Ball, but I don't think a Shadow Ball doesn't do enough damage against Lapras here, even though it's a very hard hitting move, stab move, and from a Shadow Pokemon, I still don't think it does enough damage. I want to see here kind of for science on how much damage a Shadow Drifblim does with a Shadow Ball, because we will never see it here, but there's no way it would have knocked them out. There's absolutely no way the Drifblim would have knocked them there, so good game there. Could have not really done anything in that scenario. And here's an embarrassing matchup for myself. Shadow Ball does 52%. Yeah, there's no way that I would have done even close enough there. I used a shield here against the Arcotail, and I was expecting that they would use a shield back there, because they're going to outspeed me. They should know that they outspeed me, and Crunch would knock us out. No, they decide to no shield the Power Punch, and no shield the Power Punch again. I was like, great, I have no win con here now. Yeah, Drapion can be a bit of a trickier one if you are energy up. It's not too bad for the team as well. But generally, this was the one Pokemon I was actually mainly worried about. I don't think it's too bad for the team though. I think Ferret kind of has a very neutral matchup there, and the rest can play with it as well. But as you're gonna see, we're going to have the Ferret going for a Swift now against the Victory Bell. They have still the wrong fast move. They have Magical Leaf. I actually got rid of Magical Leaf on my Victory Bell, and I will do it for my Ultra Victory Bell as well, because Acid is just the better move. Yes, the Magical Leaf actually maybe was better for them here, because they would have done more damage like with the Magical Leaf, but I still think, yeah, it's not really worth to run this move anymore unless I buff it in the future. We see the Typhlosion coming in again, and we have to kind of hope here that with this nerf here on them, the incoming, what's called Thunder Punch soon, is going to be not enough to knock us out. If there is not enough to knock us out, we will be able to win this battle here most likely, if I can go for another charge move, because I do so much force move pressure as well. But as we will see here soon, that is going to be very, very low for us, and it isn't sadly enough to knock us out, and with that, we're not going to be able to win the battle. But trust me, Toxtricity is going to have some more play here very, very shortly. We have a great lead for us, and we're going to have a great Say-Stop for us as well, where we have the Corsola against us. Corsola runs the move Power Gem, which is actually quite powerful, which is going to hurt us quite a bit here. But again, we double resist the fast move, which is great. And with that, we're gonna be not really in a bad spot. Power Gem is coming through, doing some solid damage. We're gonna be able to go for a charge move here against the opponent. And this is going to allow us to get the boost again on ourselves while not having to use a shield, which is going to be great because we can align ourselves against the Azumarill again. And we also see what they have in the back, which is going to be the Annihilate, and somehow they want to swap out into the Azumarill now, which I gladly take because I don't really care about the matchup anymore. I can just go for the Wild Charge straight away, get a ton of damage onto them, and yes, they're going to be able to knock me out, but I don't care. I know that they have the Annihilate, which means if I keep my Drifblim healthy, I win this battle, and yeah, Drifblim is going to be able to win this here. They decide to forfeit. We can move on to the next opponent. And here is where the beauty of Acid is really coming in clutch. Acid being a Shadow Claw clone doing solid damage, but also generating that energy so much faster, is going to be a very cool thing here. It does generate energy faster than the Poison Jab that he would have run before, but what we see here is that we're going to be able to outspeed the opponent's Dunsparce. And we are really outspeeding them, which you're gonna see here as well. We're gonna be able to use a shield against the opponent, which is fine. But what we can do is we can still try to reach another Wild Charge and knock them out and get rid of an answer for our backline. Like Drifblim has no play against it, Ferret is neutral against it, that's kind of fine. But they're going to reveal that they have the Talonflame in the back. What do I do here now? I go into my Drifblim, go for 3 fast moves, swap out into the Ferret. What I did now is I transferred the damage here of the charge move, which is very likely a Brave Bird, onto my bulkier Pokemon, which can take it. I also got a free fast move in if they would have stayed in, I would have been able to go for the Swift. What is the issue here is that the opponent has another Pokemon in the back that just answers my Drifblim, and I don't have a play really around that. Generally, I like my play there. The issue is just that they had a Pokemon here that had super effective coverage against our Drifblim. If they didn't have that, I would have mostly been able to actually win the battle with that play. But yeah, unfortunate there. Nothing I really could have done there. Good game to the opponent. We can move on to the next one. Dig has been the lead. Could be most likely the worst possible lead for this team here. I lagged a little bit in the beginning, and they're gonna go into Bellybolt. I was scared here. Bellybolt is honestly so far the Pokemon that I feel like is the biggest buff. I haven't played it yet. I want to play it though. I think it's great. I think this Pokemon is amazing. And what we'll see here as well is that we can still go for another Swift. This is going to allow us, of course, to do some nice damage, but they're going to go for a shield, which is fine. I wish they would have not went for the shield. Why do I wish for that? Because I kind of want to realign. But what I'm going to do now instead is I'm going to let the move go. They had +2 defense, allowing me now to get a ton of energy though on my Toxicity. I want to bait a potential Zap Cannon. I will let the move go. I know there is a Digger Speed, so I don't really need my health on my Toxtricity. I can swap out of here, and I have to hope that there's something in back I can deal with a Drift Bloom. But they're going to have double parabolic charge users here. They have Belly Bolt and the Dene, so they're just going to go for all the defense boosts they can go for, and that is scary. But I had to predict something and I had to predict that they no shield, and that worked out absolutely fantastic here. Being able to hit this charge move is so important, as now we're gonna see that the Digger Speed comes in. We're gonna be able to go for another charge move here. The Icy Wind is gonna drop the attack from the opponent, and we have to hope that I can survive 2 Fire Punches at this point, because otherwise I'm gonna go down. There's no way that I can win this battle if I don't survive the next Fire Punch, and based on the HP, I have no idea. I honestly have no idea if I can win this. With the extra debuff here, that is the only way of me winning this one. Let's see if it's going to be enough to survive this move. And it is by 1 HP, which is ridiculous. But we're gonna see here as well, with that extra double debuffed, double resisted, or like no, triple debuffed, double resisted, quick attack was enough to knock us out, so it was exactly 1 HP, which will be able to win us the battle, as now we're gonna be able to go for the power punch, knock them out again, and move on to the next opponent. Second to last battle, we're going to encounter Germnaa in the lead, and this is a matchup I can play out if I really want to. I would be able to win this matchup. But also, I have good play against the opponent in the back here, and I kind of have an ABB style line, so I guess it's more like ABC to be fair. Like, it's kind of a team that people always complain that I don't run ABC lines, but like, I really enjoy this line here. I think this meta is better for ABC lines than for ABB lines. I think that's kind of where I'm currently at least for the meta. But what we're going to see is they're going to run Fortress. And I go for the Trailblaze, a double resisted move that's non-stab compared to the single resisted move that would be stab, because I want to get more fast move pressure in and try to go for another Swift, but they're running actually the move that I didn't expect that they would run. They're running Sand Tomb. Sand Tomb is a cool move, which I think makes a lot of sense on this Pokemon here. It is going to allow you to, drop the opponent's defense quite easily. But Fortress itself, of course, can take advantage of that with Bug Bite, which is a Dragon Breath clone, which is the first time ever there is a Dragon Breath clone now. But yeah, I kind of want to take a look at Fortress with the Shadow Boost, as well as the Sand Tomb eventually as well, because that will allow you to do so much fast move pressure and win so many lead matchups. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Definitely stay tuned for that showcase, but that's going to be something for future me. Yeah, current me is going to try to deal with a Belly Bolt, and honestly, I most likely make a bit of a mistake here. I go for the bait, which works out well, but I'm also gonna go for the bait again, which doesn't make sense. They don't have shields. I thought I would still survive a hit here, and especially with the debuff onto them, but I kind of overestimated the bulk that you have on Toxtricity. So what I should have done most, I would have went for the Wild Charge, but then again, they would have farmed me down then in time as well. I didn't really have a chance here, I think. I don't think there was a way of me winning this battle. Belly Bolt is just my nemesis so far. So far, the strongest Pokemon I've battled against is a Belly Bolt, and yeah, maybe I'm gonna take a look at this Pokemon myself as well. Golurk, this time around, they didn't run Astonish if you saw the video before. Astonish Golurk completely destroyed me in one battle. Holy hell. But anyway, we're going to see here the Gligar. And my main thing that I would like to see here is a realignment on my side. Why? Because I need that. I have 2 ground types here facing me, and I have an electric and poison type Pokemon in the lead. So I need to kind of get rid of this Pokemon here, but also align my Ghost type, which is supposed to deal with the ground type Pokemon, where this ground type specifically is very difficult for me to deal with, like not the Gligar, but the Golurk. I need to align them correctly. And yeah, I'm going to be able to do that, which is great. Third is going to help me out here quite a bit. Very good Pokemon. And Tentacruel is coming in with Poison Sting, which is, in my opinion, not the move you want to run on it. You need to have a bit of fast move pressure for this Pokemon to really work. So I think that the Acid version is really cool, but here I have to hope that I'm gonna be able to farm them down in time. If they have one fast move, like if they went with one fast move over, they're gonna be able to outspeed me, and they are, and that is really unfortunate. That's not my only play though. Like, I could have done not anything else there, I think. If I went for the charge move, maybe there was a chance still. If I went for the Icy and then survived the hit, but I don't even think that would have been working out for me. So yeah, good game to the opponent. I don't think there was anything I could have done. Still, good game to them. Hopefully you enjoyed this showcase, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.